Hey guys, D.Bowie here, and this is how Shadow and Miracle fight with Sven. If you're not aware, I'm giving away any Arcana winner's choice, and all you have to do to win it is follow me on Twitter and tweet me a suggestion for a new series for this channel. This is a first blood kill. They did get the kill, but I really don't like how Radiant in general approached it. So the biggest mistake in my opinion is Ogre. If he stood right in the front of the stairs, there's no way Nyx would be able to run away so much until dying. Another mistake that happens, but probably because Shadow was afraid Nyx disengaged, is him using Stormbolt but right as Nyx was in the stairs. This means that only one hero is effectively hitting him, making the kill way harder than it should be. They do get the kill in the end, but Shadow was forced to pop a mango, walk until the Ancients, only to get an assist and actually lose one or two creeps in the lane. This is a very nice fight from Shadow. He's level 7 and a fight starts in the top lane. The first thing to note here is him going for int treads before TPing. Sven is a very mana dependent hero, and that's why going treads before Helm of the Dominator and Echo Saber really ramps up your fighting power in the early game. That and the attack speed, of course. Anyways, as he goes in, check how he doesn't instantly stun Pudge. He can see OD there, and that would be an easy astral. He hides himself in the fog, and since OD went on that direction and he spans Astral, he gets a very good angle of initiation. Again, check his strats. He goes for intelligence before using some of his skills. As he hits, it seems that Pudge is going to run away, and most players would be chasing and right-clicking Pudge, but check how he uses the max cleave to take Pudge down. Sven is an amazing farmer, but if you're going to play him like anti-mage, you should actually pick anti-mage, because neglecting the ability to take amazing fights like this one every minute because of your ult will make your impact in the game worst. I mean, unless your team is really far behind and you just can't fight. A cool little thing we can see in this clip is the dominated creep from Shadow. One of the major problems with Sven is getting kited, especially against heroes like OD, Earth Spirit and even Nyx to some degree. So the extra move speed is a simple yet elegant solution to the problem. And you can even see him bringing the creep from the Ancient camp to use it in the fight. How many of you ever did that? When I watched this fight for the first time, I was super pissed at Sand King because he never bothered to counter-initiate, eventually killing Sven. But if you watch closely, as Earth Spirit initiated, he silenced Sand King, and that really makes things hard for Sven, especially because he gets hooked. He plays it pretty well. He dodges the rolling boulder, stuns, and almost explodes Earth, and even gets a kill on Pudge before dying. They go on Sand King, and this is the type of play that can get out of hand sometimes. Communication is important in Dota. In this situation, since Vendetta and Spiked Carapace are very fast spells, Sand King should be the one initiating. So maybe Shadow didn't expect him to go so early, but they end up stacking stuns and Nyx almost runs away. A lot of finesse in this clip. How many of you support players save arcane boots for the fight where OD has the hammer ready? And not even that, how many of you instantly uses Arcana after the ult to help your allies? After OD drops the hammer, Sven is really close to all of his cooldowns, but he can't ult or use stun because of mana. You can instantly see both Ogre and Bounty Hunter using Arcanes, and this changes the fight completely. Sven ults and check Pudge's HP. Below 4k Sven players usually don't know how to properly use the cleave damage. By attacking Earth Spirit, not only he is able to do overall more damage in the teamfight, but check how the damage he does on Pudge is very similar to that of Earth Spirit. Anyways, they kill both of them, but there was nothing he could have done here. With Track, you can usually outrun the enemies, but not against open wounds, and since Sand King can't stun Lifestealer through rage, he dies. This is a fairly simple clip. Sand King finds Pudge and Shadow just thread switches and helps them securing the kill. But the fight keeps evolving and they secure another kill that propels them to the Roshan Pit. I talk a lot about thread switching with anti-mage, especially in my older videos, but I feel like on Sven it's even more important. Anti-mage usually makes 2 mana regen items, Vladimir's and Battle Fury. He also levels stats beforehand and he has higher intelligence gain, and he is usually higher level as well. In this clip, by thread switching, and even though he had -6 intelligence from OD, he's able to use close to 500 mana while still having mana for 2 stuns after all of that. Check his mana pool on strength. If he was on strength threads the whole time, he would have no mana whatsoever later. He notices that Earth Spirit is behind the tower and makes one of the 2 best moves possible in this situation. One would be stunning Earth Spirit right away, but staying right on top of him so that he can't roll to any direction. But he could risk getting hooked or kicked, so he just attacks and waits for Earth Spirit to start rolling. They don't get the kill, but the fight evolves. With that Observer Ward, he can see Pudge, but not only that, he can see Earth Spirit to use BKB to dodge the kick. It ends up being a bad fight for Radiant since they committed BKB and ult only for Pudge, but that's usually one of the weaknesses of the hero. If the enemy team can play around you being immobile, they can create a good timing window for themselves. Actually, the fight was not over. As he blinks towards the rest of his allies, he can hear Lifestealer using Rage. So he doesn't even bother using Stormbolt on Nyx, because with Track they can chase and now Lifestealer can't dodge the stun. Or can they? With a good Astro on Lifestealer, he gets his cooldowns back, and even though Sven has the highest net worth of his team, he dies. This is the biggest problem with going BKB on Sven early. You can fight pretty much anyone at any time, but if the enemy team can make you pop it for suboptimal trades, they can punish you later, and this is exactly what happens here. The strength of Sven without ult and BKB is magnitudes smaller. When you can get good fights though, the result is way different. This time they find Earth Spirit and Pudge is not able to save him. With the Sentry Ward they find Nyx, he doesn't preemptly cast BKB this time. His whole team is around and they can slow him down. Only when Lifestealer reveals himself he uses BKB. OD can't Astro the Raged Lifestealer nor the BKB Sven. And then OD also gets caught in Epicenter. Even though 2 heroes escape, this was a good fight for sure. When you go BKB early on Sven, you need to make sure that those first BKB charges are worth, because you could be getting pickoffs easier with items like Daedalus or farming faster. They smoke gank and you might feel like this BKB pop was bad, but check the minimap, no one showing. And this is the type of scenario that you can't risk because he actually looked at the minimap and no one was showing. The important thing though is not whether you BKB or not before jumping, it's how you play after spending the BKB charge. They don't go for tier 2 or Roshan, he just keeps farming, or else he might be giving the enemy team a lot of net worth in a golden plate, because he went to a push without BKB. And yes, I am looking at you supports that are so eager to end the game and keep complaining that we don't push when we don't have BKB. Another fight where we see that Shadow is starting to struggle with his BKB duration. Every initiation is a charade. Does he commit BKB to be sure he won't get hooked, dismembered and taken down by OD, or does he wait for the counter initiation before doing so? In this case he tried to only commit God's Strength before going in. He ends up committing BKB, so after the Astro from OD he can't follow up to his team anymore. He even tries to use those large camps to deal cleave damage on Dire, with no success. Jumping back against so many disables, banishes without BKB and ult is crazy, unless you can isolate someone. And this is one of the reasons why Bloodthorn has been more and more purchased on Sven. It gives you the ability to get solo pickoffs without needing to commit the ult. Of course, a big part of the kill is going on OD, or else he would have banished whatever hero Sven went on. But also, the Bloodthorn also gives him a little bit of intelligence, which is good against OD I guess. This is one hell of a good bait from Shadow. He ults and stuns Nyx. When he backs off, the hero that was supposed to counter-initiate just forgets about it and he can go in with Bloodthorn to quickly explode Nyx. You can see that the bait really worked because the kick comes off just a second later. The real benefit is not spending BKB to get the kill. And you might feel like it's not that big of a deal, right? BKB has pretty much the cooldown of God Strength at this stage of the game. But, as I said, the important part is not whether you use BKB or not before jumping in, it's how you play after it. Not only that, after that kill he pretty much knows that there is no ward vision in that area. When Lifestealer goes there to farm, he goes in again. Had he turned the BKB on, he would get the kill instantly, but in the end it actually works better for them not turning it on instantly. Pudge goes in and serves as a tool for him to kill Lifestealer. The last fight of this game happens now. I really like him still using the Helm of the Dominator now, even though it's already 35 minutes into the game. Oftentimes people even forget that the Dominate ability exists after 20 minutes. He ends up getting hooked, but since OD was forced to force Staff away, he was not fast enough to save Pudge. Bloodthorn is not only great because of what I said before, but against Lifestealer it completely changes the way he looks at the teamfight. He gets silenced instantly, and without rage or open wounds, he's completely useless. He does have buyback, but unlike Sven, he's not the type of hero that can buy back and completely change the outcome of a fight by himself, and they easily take the barracks and retreat. With no buyback on Lifestealer, and since he doesn't usually go Manta or BKB, he just dies to the Sven's initiation again. Even if Lifestealer wanted to go one of those two items, he didn't have enough time, since not every Sven goes Bloodthorn, and at the same time he was forced on buybacking a few minutes back. Pretty unfortunate for the hero. In general, this is a completely different game from the first one we saw. In the first game, Shadow was always ahead of everyone in net worth for almost the entire game. Not only that, but his team overall was also doing fine. This game is a whole new story. And since Miracle wasn't able to take away as much as possible from his laning phase, the game has way less kills and participation early. Knowing how the decision making of every hero varies with the other hero's net worth is very important in becoming a better player. When Sven is not ahead, he can keep farming, but he is way worse at exploding heroes with the first ult and Stormbolt, and because of that you can't just join every teamfight. In this case especially because they have an Invoker, a mid hero that doesn't want to fight so much early on. This clip is only possible because Nyx misplayed. He learns Spiked Carapace at level 1. When they go on Nyx, also check how Miracle waits for the first creep to die. Then waits the Carapace, stuns Nyx while at the same time hitting the ranged creep. Karo makes a very interesting play here. He draws aggro from the next creep wave, so they leave Miracle alone, and then he takes the aggro away, allowing them to keep chasing Nyx, taking less damage from creeps. In the end, since Rubik starts on Sand King, he also goes on him and they get an easy first blood. Well, this wraps up for today. If you enjoyed this video, please guys give it a thumbs up, it helps a lot. If you want to see more of Miracle and Shadow's breakdowns, please check the link in the description. And I can't overstate how this video wouldn't ever be possible without the huge help from the PVGNA guys, so please show them some love. And if you're new to my channel, subscribe to it. I'm making videos like this almost every day, and I'm sure something here will spark your interest. Also, after all of that, instead of walking back to base, since he's level 3 with no boots, it's definitely faster to suicide to Roshan. He gets money for boots and Windlace at 4 minutes, which is huge, while also losing almost no time. He even kind of gives up on suiciding since it's close to the rune spawn, but then he just gets the bounty rune, buys another TP and then suicides. A lot of good decisions in this game. Not only Jarex knows that if he clumps up with OD going for that